My name's Arran Smith, and I'm the UK Dyslexia and SEND consultant for Microsoft. And my role is to spread awareness of what Microsoft has done over the past few years in the awareness of dyslexia and the products we've done. And it starts off with this, and I like to read this to people so there's a few more, but by all means come in. I've only just started. So this here is our Microsoft's mission. So this mission was set about 4 years ago. So at Microsoft, our mission is to empower every person in every organisation on our planet to achieve more. And it's quite a big statement to make for such a large organisation. And it actually comes down from this person here. So this gentleman is Satya Nadella. Satya is the Chief Executive Officer of Microsoft. He is the third CEO of Microsoft. And there's two things you want to know about Satya. Satya's worked at Microsoft for over 25 years. He was the first Indian Asian to be on the senior leadership team at Microsoft. He also has a son with cerebral palsy and a daughter with severe learning difficulties. So he's very focused on accessibility and disability. So when he made this comment, I was like, I want my comment. And he puts there that accessibility is a priority, is a Microsoft priority. We focus on designing and building products that our customers love and that are accessible for everyone and built in for each of us. And that's quite a big, statement to make. And what he does is he's got a team of people that he sets up. So he's the most senior person in the organisation that sets this kind of policy. And it comes down to these next few people. So this lady here is Jenny Leigh Flurry, and Jenny's our Chief Accessibility Officer. Jenny's deaf. She's a Brit. She was brought up in Warsaw, and she now lives in Washington. But she sets our accessibility policy internally and externally. So what she does is she sets this our autism hiring program. She sets our policy of how we do stuff, and she has a team of people around the country. This guy here is Hector. Hector's the UK evangelist for accessibility. He works for Jenny, and this is Mike Folson, who's my boss, who actually writes a lot of the products and writes all the stuff that we put in, by all means. This person, I don't know who he is, but I might as well just talk about him. So as I said, my name's Arran Smith, and as when I was introduced, I am dyslexic myself. I'm quite severely dyslexic. I'm 34 years old. I have a reading age of a 9-year-old, a spelling age of an 8-year-old. I have no automatic reading capability. The word Northampton is not a problem, because I read it all the while. The word girls is not a problem. School is not a problem. Road names don't do road names. I have no idea where I am in this country. I know I followed the sat-nav, and I then looked at the map and went, okay, I'm not staying on this road, I'm going to come off this road and hopefully get my way around. And everyone else is driving this way, I'm going to follow them. It's got to be the right way. I've worked in the field of dyslexia for over 15 years, and I'm quite well known within the dyslexia field. I love technology. Anyone noticed I am wearing an Apple Watch? I do have an iPhone somewhere, it is there. And I love technology. As you can see, I've got a small array of devices. I think I have like 7 devices in my office at home now. A bit of a geek. My house is full of network cable. But anyway, I got diagnosed with being dyslexic when I was age 9, and my diagnosis was quite interesting. The day I found out I was dyslexic, I was like, yeah, this is brilliant. I love this label because I'm different. And my mum told me, and I was like, this is great. The same week, I went to the dentist, and the dentist said, okay, we need to take 8 teeth out. Who likes going to the dentist? Because I don't like going to the dentist. Right? The dentist is not a nice thing, and that's actually how my dyslexia felt me for a long time. I had a lot of time when my dyslexia was quite sad, was quite argumentative. I had lots of arguments with my mum and dad. You've already heard me speak, so didn't I? It is. What I have got, I'll wait for you all to come in and I can tell you about my stuff. Fine? So, one of the things about my dyslexia was that the good and bad times were there. So just here on my thumb, I have a scar on my thumb where I punched the glass door in my house. I have in my mum and dad's house. It's kind of got old doors that have got, like most people will have heard of these doors that are corrugated in the middle of them. I kicked that down twice, and I made a decision that because I was getting so stressed with stuff, I had a wooden door put there that I chopped in half. Dad didn't understand why I chopped in half and why I put hinges on it. Because when I kicked it the 3rd time, it smacked me in the face. I never kicked it again. It's finding a way of a solution to cope with stuff. I did get a statement, so I did get a statement of education in year 6, 3 weeks after my SATs, which was helpful. And I did leave, when I left school, when I went to my upper school, I went to 3 schools theoretically. I did get 5 GCSEs. My highest grade of GCSE was a C. Didn't do English lit, didn't do English language, I did do English lit. And I think I got an E in that, quite actually remember. It blurred. But I remember that time quite vividly because the Senko at school said you're the most severely dyslexic person. And which is you put a TA next to that, which is kind of unheard of all the while now, is having a TA there all the while for someone with a disability or a difference like dyslexia. And it really made me think about it. So now, I'm still a severe dyslexic adult. I don't read this. I have no idea what SNG, what is SNG? Is that the school logo by any chance? It is. That is well confusing. Because I thought it was Northampton School for Girls, not school Northampton Girls. But anyway, that's just a bit confusing. But I have succeeded in life. I own 2 companies, one called the LDA Group, one called the SEND Group. I do work for 2 large organisations, so I'm a subcontractor for Microsoft. I also work for a company called Scanning Pens. I work for other companies called Dyslexia Box, Claro Software, TTRS, and a few others, including a will writing company, but don't ask me about that. I was able to speak at the Marathi Dyslexia Association, which is the Dyslexia Association in Mumbai, in India, last year, and talk about their dyslexia and what's going on over there. I was able to speak at their conference. That was a fascinating experience. 2.5 years to get a diagnosis of dyslexia, which was really fascinating for me. And I'm also an independent consultant at St David's College. Now these 2 people here, without the picture, because Mum doesn't like it, that's why there's no picture, changed my life. And as we have in Northampton, we have the Northamptonshire Dyslexia Association. Where I live, we have the Leicestershire Dyslexia Association. So the Leicestershire Dyslexia Association, very similar like Northampton, it's an independent charity. We do a few things differently. We run an after-school workshop on a Saturday morning, which I went to as a young person. I became a helper, I became a support coordinator, I became vice chairman. I got a BDA Young Achievers Award for that, and I'm now chairman of that group. And I actually worked for the British Dyslexia Association for 5.5 years, and that's what I did. So I'm a lover of technology and a knower of dyslexia, is probably the best way to describe it. Now, when I think about things, well, I use this picture, and this picture is quite adapt, because this is the very first time I've ever presented at an all-girls school. So I've used a picture of a girl unintentionally, but it's always been a girl, to tell you the truth. But this picture to me really sums up dyslexia for me, because dyslexia is not just about reading, writing, or spelling. It's often about memory. It's often about that phonological difficulty. It's often about that organisational difficulties. I've got here. I've done my time management concept. I've left Leicester at 2:10 to be here for 3:15, so I have time to set up. I've got here and stuck in traffic and got a little bit stressed in the traffic jam, but I got here on time, stayed calm. And that's the thing that I have done, I have good and bad days, and that's what dyslexia has. But I'm really passionate about understanding that there's lots of technology out there. So you can get lots of text-to-speech, you've got lots of technology all in your pockets on a phone. But it's getting the right technology and understanding the right technology. But it's also understanding yourself. So if you don't understand dyslexia, you're not going to be able to accept what technology, what solutions you need to support. And that's a real point of it. So my journey with Microsoft started back in 2016. And I kind of saw this thing called Learning Tools, Onenote, which I'm going to demo in a sec. I saw that Hector started, and I saw that we were putting all these kind of things into more products. I thought it was really interesting. I listened, and I didn't read, I listened to Hit Refresh, which is an amazing book from Saturday Night. It's like, this is really good, it's really moving forward. So what has happened over the past few years is Microsoft has been really passionate around dyslexia and about accessibility and about disability. So there's an estimated 1 billion people that need accessibility in the world. So what we did at Microsoft is, and I say we because I've helped a little bit, we've added some more to that mission statement that I had. So the mission statement I said at the beginning was, at Microsoft, our mission is to empower every person on the planet to achieve more. With more than 1 billion people in the world with a disability, there is no limits to what people can achieve when technology reflects the device, the way that they use it. I've read that wrong, but the concept's there. And that is so true. Who used the sat-nav lately? Anyone use the sat-nav lately? Yeah, that's a piece of assistive software. It's a piece of assistive technology. Who used a cash machine like that? Anyone use a cash machine like that? Yeah. Cash machine is a piece of assistive technology. Believe it or not, the reason it's all about productivity. Next time you go and look at a cash machine, look for the jack socket. So if you go and look at the cash machine, and you'll see, maybe on a lot of the Barclays ones, you'll see a little jack socket. You put your headphones in, and it's all screen read everything. Quite clever. So Microsoft are looking at all these areas. We are really now passionate about accessibility and disability. And wait a second. I'll wait for you to come. So we are looking at all these areas. So we are looking at mental health, neurodiversity, mobility, hearing, visual, and of course learning. Now we're going to concentrate mainly on learning today. It's fantastic. I'm not going to pick on you, no? So we're talking about, so Microsoft has got this kind of really endeavour to actually look at all this area. Now I want to just mention to you mobility. So mobility is a really interesting story, and it's only 2 slides, so don't worry. This is the world's first accessibility game controller. So this device here allows anyone with a physical disability to game. Think about it, putting yourself in a situation when you are a hardcore gamer, you spend 3 to 17 hours a day, right, on your Xbox playing, I don't know, I'm going to say Grand Theft Auto because the only thing that comes to my head, that's a really old game. And then you're involved in an accident and you've lost a limb and you now can't use your thumbs. That's going to be really depressing for you. What we've done is we've been able to use that kind of concept, thinking, oh, okay, let's make a device that people can use. We've then been able to add switches and lightweight joysticks or sensors on it. We've made it so it's really easy for them to do it. We've even put on the back of it, so underneath it, there is 3 adaptions for 3 different types of wheelchairs. But this is what else we did. This is the box it comes in. The box you can open with your teeth. There is no cellophane on this box. The box is weighted so it flops open like it just did. It then pulls off and then you just use a bit of cord and it literally is on a shelf and it slides out when it comes out. Come on. And then it will just sit there. And that's the instruction manual and there's the device. And to me, when I saw this story and I was expecting this story, there's a website called CNET which is all about technology. And I saw this story, they were talking about the box that came in. I thought, oh, okay, here comes the negativity. And it was so positive, and it's really passionate to see that actually someone thought about the box it comes in. But we're here to talk about learning tools and talk about how we've added tools in for people with dyslexia. So what happened was, is we have a product called Onenote. And Onenote is where, in 2015, a group of people at Microsoft came together and said, let's hack some products let's hack some ideas into OneNote. And they thought about reading, they thought about background colours, they thought about spelling, they thought about reading out loud, they thought about spacing the text. They got voted on by members of staff, and then they got voted on by the senior leadership team, and basically they got money to put it into products. Who's heard of OneNote? Anyone heard of OneNote? That's fine, okay, that's good, some people have heard of it. So for those who don't know what OneNote is, OneNote is your digital workbook. It is your, if you take the lever arches over the back there, exactly that concept is that ring binder concept. It's a cloud-based product, it's based on multiple devices, organises yourself, it has got some amazing features for education around class notebook. It also is a collaboration tool, but the most important thing for me is, no matter what device you use, your notes are in one place. When I was at school, I went through 6 exercise books in history. I kept losing my exercise books. This is my Surface Go. I may lose the pen on it. I am not going to lose my Surface Go. This stick goes with me all the while, everywhere. It's my favourite new device. So I was very happy when someone put allowed me to buy it. So we've added some dyslexia products. So I'm going to show you this video now. I haven't tested the video, so I'm hoping the video will work. Will either not work or not.
The true purpose of education is to create possibility.
It was a little hard for me. People laugh whenever I read sometimes.
Well, they knew how to read.
and I didn't. I will never be good at reading. I will probably be held back again. It highlights the words to know where I am. When it's reading, I see spaces between the words. And it's easy to focus on. The first time I actually could read that book, I was proud of myself. I was very proud of myself. Good job, Joey.
When technology and education come together, possibility becomes reality.
I want to read every book in here.
Does anyone know what I did to that video to make it accessible? Anyone notice it? Anyone see? Closed captioning was on that video. So it meant that actually I don't know who's in this room, and I actually don't know who's in this room. And I just thought about it now. I'm going to show you something about closed captioning later that's really interesting. So, going back to this dyslexia concept, one thing I haven't said, and now most people in the room I can tell you. So everything I'm talking about is all free. No real cost to it. So from everything I talk about from OneNote, I will say there's a cost. So OneNote is free. If you went out tomorrow and bought this Lenovo device from PC World, you'll have OneNote on it. If you are a parent and you've got Office 365, which you do pay for, you have the ability to use OneNote. Even if you just have a Hotmail address or an Outlook address, you have access to some of these features. And some of the features I show you in OneNote are mainly free. So we have this concept called Learning Tools built into OneNote. Learning Tools has got this tool, this free tool called Immersive Reader. And this has got text-to-speech with synchronized highlighting, it's got a visual stress aid, literacy aid. It also has dictation built into it. So what we have is this. Microsoft is very good at confusing people in the sense that we have lots of ways of accessing products. So you can either access products on an iPhone or an iPad or an Android tablet. You can also access products by using what they call a desktop product, or you can access stuff by online. So in school you would access products via online like you would with Google, same concept. This app, which is OneNote app, is called OneNote Windows 10 app. So when I said to you if you went out and bought a device tomorrow, this is freely available. This is on the device, it's on the App Store, it's there, it's free. You log into it with either an Office 365 account or a Microsoft account. You'll get the majority of these features I'm showing you today. So when I said to you earlier about OneNote, what OneNote is your digital workbook. Here's your dividers, here's your paper, here's your content. So we're in a school, so this is my piece of geography. I'm a geography teacher in there. No, we haven't, that's good. Just checking, I don't want to be quizzed on this. So on here, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of piece of text here that I may not be able to read, and I may be able to read it, but actually I need to have a bit of speed. I don't have the speed to it. So I'm going to go in the View tab. So View, as in viewing and looking, and here's my Immersive Reader button. It's there, and what it's going to do, it's done a few changes already. So it's changed the background colour, and it's basically changed the font. I'm just going to set it back to what it would be if I hadn't changed it back. So basically what it's done now is it's a white background. The big thing it's done is made the text space a bit higher. I can do some changes with this. I can make the font smaller or bigger. I can turn that spacing on or off. I can change it to my Comic Sans font. Why is Comic Sans a dyslexia-friendly font? Anyone want to tell me why? Someone's got to know. Not spacing, it's 2 letters. Who said a G? You know what? You are the first time, I've been doing this for 9 months. You're the first person to pick up the G first. Seriously. Everyone forgets the G. The G is right, also the A is right. We don't write an I don't write an A like this. It's an upside down 6. Comic Sans is a dyslexia. For high school, Century Gothic is really good. It's really dyslexia friendly. So I can do some background colours. I can change background colours that might make it easier for people. Not everyone likes visual stress, but I do. Very purple there. I can now do some clever things there. I can do syllable division. So I can now make it a bit easier for me to break up words. So we've got landforms, physical, geography. I can break up words. I can pick up my nouns. So my nouns are blue. Around there. My verbs are red. My adjectives are green. And my adverbs are yellow. There isn't any adverbs in that paragraph. So I can pick all that out. But actually 18% of the mail problem 17% of the population, majority being the male side, are colourblind. We can now put on labels so people can actually know what they all are. So we know that that's a noun, we know it's an adjective, noun, verb, and adverb is there. We just turn all them off. It could be a bit distracting. I need them all off. I can do some other things. So I can now remove, we can now focus in. So when we're focusing in, this is not just for our dyslexic students, it may be for our people with visual difficulties, maybe for our students with ASD, just because they may find it a distraction there. But of course then we have the other option here. We can do a picture dictionary. So we can now bring out pictures so we can have a communication to understand what that word, what does coal mean? What does that word earth mean? What does that picture mountain mean? And also then I can then read single words or...
The study of Earth's landforms is called physical geography.
And stop. So let me just put that at the speed it's default to it reads the latter better for it.
The study of Earth's landforms is called physical geography. High landforms can be mountains and valleys.
So yeah, it is an American voice, but it is free. So that's my option. You can, so very nice, you can get a UK voice. So what we're doing is one of the things that I'm asking for, and working with Mike Felson, he designed this, is that hopefully we're going to have a little drop down to say UK voice. But in a second I'm going to show you reading a UK voice, because there is a way of doing it when I read math. But what I can do, of course, is I can speed it up.
The UK voice.
Study of Earth's landforms is called physical geography. High landforms can be mountains and valleys.
It's never going to be charged. Well, we will never charge for this. If you were in a multi-billion-pound company and you wanted me to come in, we would charge you. But education, Microsoft has got a real mission that education is free. So we only charge schools for desktop licensing and then for the device. That's the difference. So all this is all online. It's all free. Theoretically. So you see how it went really fast there, and I can slow it right down, of course.
They can also be glaciers or rivers.
Which is a bit fun. So that is all there. Now, just that concept of text-to-speech is something I'm highlighting, apart from what is out there in if you're looking at that from a paid product, that's about £69 per user, or £900 per school, roughly. So that's free, and that's there, it's all built in. And that's the benefit of that. So one of the other things I was going to talk about is just show you just another feature. So I've got here, it's not very easy to read, but I have drawn on here. I can actually draw maths on here. Then go in here. I've forgotten your name.
This is fine.
Can I actually come and draw me some maths?
Yeah.
You told me you're a maths teacher. Can you draw something with like a real complicated, just like a real complicated sum on here? Like if I hold the screen, there you go. Okay, let's see how good your thing is. So that's quite complicated. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this, and I'm going to convert that to maths. That will do, won't it? Look at that. That's what I'm going to say. That's what you wrote. It did something. It did. But you know what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back into immersive reader. I'm going to click here. I'm going to press the play button.
6 cats.
Hold on. I'll make it a bit faster so it gets a bit
6xy equals. Arran. 4 plus 6 equals. 6 plus 1 equals. 6 cap cx minus 12n superscript to the 7 equals 9.
That's quite common. That's brilliant. Thank you. So now read maths. There's nothing in the marketplace that reads maths like that, really. There's things that will try and read maths, but we are actually now allowing it to read maths. So that is OneNote. And what I want to show you now is I want to just point out this. So Microsoft is really passionate around dyslexia. So we've made the Made by Dyslexia pledge. What does this mean? So we are recognising that dyslexia is definitely a strength and not a difference. We are identifying dyslexia better. We are offering support to ensure that dyslexics in organisations flourish. But then also we're offering free training for teachers and the workplace through our Learning Met. We're also going to be looking at testing because of actually being able to use our technology within tests. So that's what we're doing over time. I want to show you Kieran's video. This is a video. I'm going to show about a minute of this and show you how he felt about when he found immersive reading.
I'm Jenny Anderson Johnson.
And Ben Johnson.
We have 3 kids, Alden, Gavin, and Carrick.
My name is Carrick and I am in 2nd grade. My favorite things in the world is bees, snakes, gardening.
We definitely knew there was a problem because, he just was not being able to read with us as much as the other kids were.
Sometimes I was embarrassed because I don't know how to read.
He had dyslexia. Initially, it was that kind of feeling of shame that really made me feel sad.
My teacher was like, who wants to read first for the whole entire year? I said, not me.
So you start wondering, what you're doing wrong. And then there was a little bit of panic that sets in.
One day when we were learning, my friend came next to me and said, I know how you can do this. Just click on that button and it said immersive reader and I clicked on it. And I was just focused, my eyes were focused into it. I can say it to you and that. Or I could tell you a picture.
The awesome thing about immersive reader, it was just there. It was just an icon clicking away.
I think that it's allowed him to have more confidence that he can do more.
It makes me feel good and my life is more easier.
The first night they kind of came up to us with a book in hand and wanting to read to us. You see that twinkle in his eye.
Yeah.
It was something he had conquered,
So it talks about then that he actually makes a Mother's Day card as well for his mum. And so he has actually really achieved, and I think that this statement here just sums it up, that learning tools can be a life-changing experience. Accessing text into anything, and I'll put that into context. I'm a massive Harry Potter fan, and that big that my wedding next year is based on Harry Potter. It is all about, and that's how it is. My partner has got Deathly Hallows tattooed if we're on. Now, my daughter can read, I think. She's only 4. My partner has read all the Harry Potter books. My mum has read all the Harry Potter. My sister has read all the Harry Potter books. I've watched all the films. I listened to all the Harry Potter books. And you know what? The day that I listened to The Order of the Phoenix, when I found out that that Hermione and Ron were prefects, was like the biggest revelation in my life. Because I've never seen that. It's not in the films, it's just in the book. And that is the thing that actually by using listening or text-to-speech can really change your life. I use text-to-speech a lot. You'd be surprised at actually how much in a phone, in an iPhone, in an Android phone, is text-to-speech. It's really easy. I'm going to talk a little bit about them as we go along. So I'm going to talk to you now. Push down, okay.
With the OneNote, can you, if they were studying a book, for example, can you put text into it to read it out, or?
You've read my presentation. You know what? I love that. I love what I feel like. Yes, you can, and I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to talk about Word, and then I'm going to jump back to it. See the links back to it now. So I'm going to talk about Microsoft Word. Now, Microsoft Word, this is the desktop version of Word. Now, the reason I'm using the desktop version is because all the good features are in the desktop. A lot of these features are moving to the online version, which schools can have access to. If you have a home version of this, you'll have some of these features already, some of them will be coming. So Word has a thing called accessibility checker, and basically this is just where we check documents to make sure they're accessible. And I'll explain that in more detail in a sec. We have read aloud in Word, we have spell check read aloud, which is my favourite feature. We have syllable division, we have colour background changes, we have column width, and we have dictation. So, explaining this. So accessibility checker is literally, this is very simple. If you're blind, you can't see that picture, can you? But if you're blind, you need to be able to read that picture. So actually we have this thing called alt text, and what accessibility does, it tells you that you have not put that description in that picture. That is what accessibility checker does. Checks your document to allow it to be used by someone else that has got a severe difference. Microsoft Office 365 is collaborative. Co-authourable, that's the word I'm going to use because I can read that one. And basically what it means is that say that the 3 of us were using an Office 365 document, I could be in this view, but none of you are not in this view, because it is my editing view. So where OneNote is non-editable, the immersive reader is non-editable, it's only readable, this is editable. And I could be in that view and I can do some of those features that I can do in OneNote. What's the biggest thing I was told? School use the spell check. What did I do? I used the biggest word possible. because I can't read this much yet. Now we go from 4 down to 3, and we now have synonyms underneath them. So words what mean words, words that mean the word, and it also reads out loud. So let's show you this, let's demo this. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to copy some text from here. No, not that text. I'll copy this to the text. Put it in my Word document. So here's my Word document here. Just going to make it a bit bigger so we can all see it. And I'm going to make a brilliant spelling mistake just here. So I've now got, why is that not proper? Because it learnt that I know that that's now there. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to press the right mouse button, and it's now going to give me 3 options of what that word could be. So I'm going to read the bottom word. So the bottom word, I can't read that bottom word, but I'm going to press the little button here, and press the read aloud button.
Facial. No reference information.
So the word says facial. My document says nothing about facial, so I'm not having a facial, so it's not that word. I'm going to use top words. It thinks it's the top word.
Fiscal. Similar to economic, financial, monetary.
Now I know my document is not about money at all, so it's not that word. So I'm now going to use this word and see what this word is.
Physical. Similar to bodily, substantial, brute.
Now the 3 words to me didn't mean anything to me, but I heard the word physical, so that word now I know that's the right word for my stuff. So I'm now be able to actually listen. I'm now be able to get my spelling correct. But if you're as severe as me, typing words may be frustrating. And also, from a productivity point of view, we may want to use dictation. So in the top corner here, we have this button that is dictation. I've now clicked on dictation, and it has made an error because I'm not thinking of what I'm going to say. Full stop. New paragraph. New paragraph. I'm now using dictation to control my computer and my document. This is using Office 365. Did you see the autocorrect? Full stop. And using Windows 10. Full stop. New line. Think of words like, I'm going to sing words now. Think of words like Constantinople or Mississippi. So we got some words wrong, got some words right there. Right? That there, what? A minute I've dictated a document. I know I've put the text really big, so it has filled the page quite a lot. But theoretically, we think of how dictation can change people's lives. Dictation is a productivity tool, that's what it's designed for, and I use dictation every day. What I can then do is in the review tab, I have this button here, it says read aloud. And I can go in here, and I can click just here and press the play button.
I'm not Eclipse on dictation I need is made in Arabic as I'm not thinking of what I'm going to say.
So that was completely not what I said, but I can now go back and edit all that again, because I've listened to it. Because I haven't read that, I had no idea I said the word Arabic. I'm going to be worried. Let's see how this goes.
I'm now using dictation to control my computer on my document. This is using Office 365. Did you see the autocorrect?
So I know there that actually by listening to it, really and truthfully there should be a bit of punctuation in there. That has helped me think, actually there should be a comma there. In my mind it should be a comma there. I have no idea. There's an English teacher in here, I'm sorry. Yeah. That's not English. But you can see how that actually helps. But then I then spoke about a few minutes ago about that, the concept of looking at editing in that Learning Tools mode. So when I click on the View tab again, I have the Learning Tools button. Now this is going to take me out of my normal editing view and into my Learning Tools editing view. You can see it's turned the background colour, and it's put syllable division, so dictation has split into syllables. So again, it's helping me read that text and break up words. If I write a word like B-E-C-A-U-S-E, it's also done that auto syllable division. So syllable division has done it automatically. You don't have to turn it on and off. It's there. It's a really powerful tool. And this is how Microsoft are always adding more and more features. So 2 weeks ago, this feature wasn't here. So you remember on Learning Tools on OneNote, I had the reading rulers, the line focus. That's what I was looking for. I can now do that line focus on here. That line focus is now on here. So I can now look at that line focus on my Word document. That's brand new. I didn't even know that was coming. That just turned up one day. That's what happened. The reason why I have columns is actually that if you had a document that was like this, if you actually have a newspaper like that, so it's quite a wide document, it's a normal document, you wouldn't read it. Because of columns, that's why people read newspapers, because they're in columns. So columns make it easy to use. Again, I can put spacing on, and of course I've got the reading allowance in here.
My document, this is using Office 3.
And again, you see you've got synchronization as well. Again, you've got speaking. That's built into Word. So, we've talked about a few things. We're just going to recap a little bit. I mentioned editor. So I mentioned the editing capability of Word using accessibility checker. Read aloud in Word and on using it on other products. Dictation, I've just shown you how powerful dictation is. We've talked about Learning Tools, of how Learning Tools is there to actually help that reading. The lady here mentioned about taking pictures of a book and talked about how you can read a book. So, there is an app that you can get on any iPhone or any tablet called Office Lens. So what Office Lens does, Office Lens allows you to do a few things. So Office Lens allows you to do 2 or 3 things. Mainly it's to take pictures of things like business cards, or it allows you to take pictures of documents or even text. Built into it, there's a picture of me on that slide for you. There's pictures on here. There is actually the ability to take text and actually then use Immersive Reader on the device. So Immersive Reader is built into the device. Again, so we connect to the internet. But what you can do is, if I go back into OneNote and show you, so let me find go to a different notebook. So this here is a picture that I took. So this picture I took on the 4th of October at 9:58 p.m. This picture is at 9:50 p.m. 10 o'clock in the evening. I took this picture on OneNote. On Office Lens. I sent it to OneNote, and there's the picture there. That's a picture out of a book. Going to Immersive Reader. It's doing the OCR conversion.
Preface, this is the story of 2 Microsoft HAC hackathon teams, one in the summer of...
And you can see there that it's starting to read it out. It has made a small error with the synchronization, which it keeps doing, like I need to report. It's allowing me to do it. Now, what I'm going to do is, what I saw yesterday is this. This you are literally, I saw this on Twitter yesterday. Copy text from picture. I've never tried this. Copy the text from picture, new page. Sorry, that's fact. That is actually the first time I've ever done that. I have no idea. So that has done that OCR conversion. Alright, that's just done it in OneNote. That's amazing. Sorry, that's quite impressive for me. I get small things make small minds. Pardon?
To buy the software to do that, it costs hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
At the moment, hundreds of pounds.
Yeah. That's just in it on. That's part of a Windows 10 device. Yeah. It's maybe not as good as it could be. I can see there's a few errors in it, so it's got a few red lines, but the concept is there. So literally, I've used Office Lens, that's the app you would need, taken a picture of a book, I've converted it to text. So the next question someone's going to be smart and say, okay, I've wrote a book, now you're taking my copyright. It's not copyright if it's accessible. If you're using it for an accessibility purpose, you are trumping copyright. So that's how I get around actually, and that's why you can have a voice recorder and you can record a conversation.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
So basically, so someone could say that you're plagiarising a book.
Yeah.
Which you can't, but if you're using it because you need an accessibility requirement, right, so you need to listen to it, the Equality Act trumps every other act. So the Equality Act says you have the right to have that accessibility.
But where does that go with even how formal somebody's diagnosis is, though?
No. No. Because actually, so even though I'm diagnosed dyslexic, when you leave school and you go into the workplace, If you need access to work, which is a government scheme, you don't need a diagnosis. The government doesn't ask for diagnosis. The disability under the Equality Act is indicating that it's a mental or physical problem that affects your day-to-day life. That's what a disability is defined within the Act. So it doesn't say dyslexia, doesn't say autism, it doesn't say you're a paraplegic. It just says that it affects a mental or physical disability in everyday life. That's how dyslexia is a disability, because it affects you every day. I like getting hard questions, it's good. You can come back to another talk.
Does it not have to be evidence though?
No.
Over a certain period of time?
Yes and no, but under access to work, access to work will send someone in to do a needs assessment.
But this isn't work. This is.
No, in school it does. School definitely does. It is. Outside of school, in school, yes, it has to be evidence. Yes.
Yeah. And also for exam arrangements.
For exam arrangements, definitely. Yeah. In school it does. It does, and that's why there's a big disconnect between the whole entire world.
Because we have to prove it's their normal way of working.
Correct. Yeah.
And that there's a historical need.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That's it. Yeah, that's right. And that's why I'm fighting every day with Microsoft to say, look, no, you can't really use Microsoft Word in an exam because it's going to take your IT technician an hour and a half to turn off autocorrect, turn off.
There can be no accessibility to the internet at all.
I know. Yeah. I know. Which means then that you have to pay £300 per machine to have Dragon when that's free.
Exactly.
And that's exactly the issue I have.
Because I have a student who's cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a system that will work for her both in class and for exams. And at the moment I can't do that. This will work in class,
yeah.
But it won't work for exams.
No, and that's very true. And that's the issue I have every day. It's exactly the same conversation. I'm having that conversation every day with people. And I'm really pushing for this to be used in exams. Because that's why when we had the Made by Dyslexia pledge, I had more of a leg stand on, because Satya Nadella said that pledge. He was the one, there's a video of him saying that we are making this pledge. So if the CEO of Microsoft is making it, they can damn well do something
But
like
at
that.
the moment, if students were using that in school, although they can't use an exam as a way of working, then they have learnt to be independent by the time they go to the workplace.
And that actually is the big thing, is actually the independence. That's the big message actually, is really true. Is that actually, if we can actually have an independence, because that's the thing that my opinion is that when I was at school, I had a TA sat next to me. So in history, I was asleep and being poked by the TA, and in biology, I was active. I was talking to the teacher, but my first flight is phone my partner. My first flight is ring Paul on my support worker. I will use technology when I'm alone. I'll use technology when I'm out, because that's now my secondary thing. And actually, I use technology more. So I'll show you another feature in a second after I showed you this, which I started to use, which I never knew I'd ever use. But that's the thing, is making independence. So we just did some few things that I want to talk about on the 15th of October on the Made by Dyslexia page. So I mentioned when we talked about
Sorry, just on that one where you're using reading, can you import books? Because it's all very well taking pictures on page.
Not at the moment.
Quite intensive.
Not at the moment. So not at the moment, but there is a. Let me finish this slide and I'll show you something that we can do that way. There is a way around that. The problem is everything's there. It's just understanding what you need to do, and that's why I was talking about that. Not everything works for everyone. So yes and no, there is a way to do that. So just mentioned about the dyslexia training for teachers. That's what we did. We talked about learning tools and we're using the voice. So dictation I showed you on Word is coming online. So that means it's now going to be freely available on an online app. So when you're using Office 365 in the future, dictation can be there, so you don't need to buy the desktop version. Immersive reading from split grid, which isn't really interesting. We talked about the maths, and we've also added real-time translation, which isn't really necessary for this audience, but just to share. This is what I want to talk about. So it says here, learn this about Microsoft Edge. So your comment about the book is this. So Windows 10 has this browser called Edge. So Microsoft Edge is a browser we don't really use. It's a browser that's parts of Windows 10. You can open a PDF and an EPUB in this. So if you get a book that's an EPUB, you can open it in this. If you have a PDF, you can open it in this. I'm on the internet, and this is when I said that I found that I didn't think I'd ever use this feature. But I have this on my Surface Go, and I have my Surface Go next to my main computer setup. and I see this page come up with all the news articles, and I think, and I look through, and again, every day, can't believe it, but every day there's always an article about the royals. Now I'm a bit of a nosy person about what's going on in the royal family. Don't ask me why. So I like to listen to it. So what I do, I click on this on like this article, and for starters, there's a lot of text there. There's all this silly adverts about gym and go to webinar. But what there is there's a button that's not working for us. Useful, thank you. That should actually allow me to make this page readable. This button here should be there, and it's not working. So let's just go to the BBC website. BBC.uk. Let's open up. I don't really want to talk about Brexit, but Brexit will do. So this button here is allowing me to do it. So what it's done is, it's now removed all that silly gubbins and put it into a reading view. So this is what happens when you put a PDF or a book in here, we're going to this reading view. But as of October, all them features I showed you, all them learning tools features, have now been added to the Edge browser. So I can do that spacing on the text. I can do that, I can do parts of speech with nouns. I can do syllable division. I can do read aloud. So I can,
Release of full legal www.bbc.co.uk.
I can now listen to it. And that, so
Media playback is unsupported on your device. SNPZ and Blackford. Brexit deal denies Scottish rights.
you can see there that actually how now I can listen to the news. When we come back to exams, and this has never been used before, you don't need to be connected to the internet for this to work. So if you're looking for a screen reader, theoretically, and it is theoretical because I've never tried it, because Edge will read out loud without being connected to the internet. It won't do all the colour backgrounds, it won't do all that stuff. Theoretically, you could use that in an exam as a screen reader, because it will read a PDF document like that. Never tested it, but it's worth knowing. It is. Yeah, it's worth testing and playing with, but that's just something that I'll check. So coming back to my talk, I want to talk about two apps. I want to show you some two apps. So I'm just going to whiz through this. So this is Dictation Online. So this is a web page. Go onto my web page, and then there's a dictation button. So rather than going to the web browser, it's mainly for school concept. This is Flipgrid. We won't need to worry about that because you don't. There's Flipgrid. You don't use Flipgrid, do you? Do you use Flipgrid? No. So Flipgrid is just it's a video player for text. It's quite cool. It is. This here is real-time translation. So think of students with English as an additional language, or even doing foreign languages. We can put our text into learning tools. We have the changes there, so it's changing from Lagos, and it also does single words, it also does whole documents. We did our maths problems, and it says math, I know it's American, I haven't changed it, sorry. Maths, that's the kind of figures I want. Next time you need to draw something like that for me. And no, I don't know. It reads it out loud, it does. And then this one here is Android. So what the Android app of Immersive Reader, so the Android app of Office Lens also has Immersive Reading now. It didn't have it, but it has got it now. So that means you can actually read, you can use Immersive Reader on Android as well. So I want to talk about, actually let's show you this. So this here is the really colourful but really big grid of where all these things are. So Read Aloud is in Word, OneNote Desktop, OneNote Online, OneNote Windows 10 app, OneNote for iPad, OneNote for Mac, Word Online, Word for Desktop, Word for Mac, Word for iPad, Outlook Online, Outlook for Web, Teams, Flipgrid, Office Lens, and Edge Browser. I've shown you most of them. And then going down like things like parts of speech, colour background changes, syllable division, focus lines and all of them, picture dictionary, and a few of them. Dictation is in OneNote Desktop, OneNote Online, OneNote Web, OneNote Windows 10 app, Word Desktop, Word Online, PowerPoint Desktop, PowerPoint, and Outlook Desktop. So just highlighting the Outlook. So Outlook is for email, for parents and for teachers in the room. Having this actually is an accessibility need for teachers as well. So you can actually make productivity. What will happen is I will send this to school. You don't need to worry about that. I'll change the slide. I forgot to turn the slide off. I will actually send you this document. I'll send this to school so you can download it. It is. You've got one. You may not have got that one. It is there. So I just want to show you one app. So I'm not going to talk about PowerPoint. I'm just going to show you this. So this is an app here, which is a free app. It is only available on iOS. It's only available on an iPhone at the moment. It will be coming to Android. So this is a free app. It is designed for blind people, but it is a really cool app to use. It's called Seeing AI, and it makes my life really easier. So I got here, and I got this document here. I'm going to actually use this. So here. Oh, let me put it. Thank you. Let's turn this on. I'll just read that. It's called Seeing AI. That's the app what it's called.
If you show, I've used that as well. I'm showing the VI students that.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant for flattering people. Well, it has flattered people so far. You can do people, and it'll tell you the age. Oh, that's not bad. It's the end of the day.
So you know what?
I was 43 earlier.
Oh, it's aged by 10 years. It does say though that you've got a beard, which I was quite impressed with. That's not good. I'm going to try eating now. Processing. 35-year-old woman with 25. You know what, right? Now, so since I've been doing this, it used to do it the other way around. So it used to get males' ages really wrong, as in like make them really young, and females' ages really old. It's done it right stuff. It keeps going the right way. This will read anything. Has that bottle got a barcode on it? Has it got a barcode on it? Or is it out of a...
No, it's out of 6.
Oh, is it? This is mine. The biscuits have got a barcode. Let's see what it is.
Zero faces. Product. Processing. Tesco chocolate malted milk biscuits 250 G.
It's like a magic trick.
Yeah.
Right. So, did you hear the beeping?
Yeah.
That's because it's for a blind person. It means that they know they're near a barcode. Now, the reason why it's in iOS is because iOS is a product. So, in iOS, which is an iPhone, the iPhone Alpha system, there's loads of accessibility features. So, if whoever's got a pen or has got an iPhone, if you go into settings general accessibility, you'll find loads of features. There's some really good features in speech, which allow you to actually read some speech. So, it will allow you to like read emails or read text messages, or even read the whole of your screen. I found out this one that you could actually like pull down with 2 fingers and you read the whole screen.
What was that, Aaron?
So it's settings, general, accessibility. And it's now, it used to be at the very bottom, it's now halfway down. So actually it's really, there's loads of features that play around with. I use select the speech all one on my phone. I've got one more thing I want to show you, just because this is a bit of fun. So I mentioned earlier that I put closed captioning on the video. Now what I should have done is I have no idea what audience I've got today. I actually had forgotten what audience I was going to have today. I would have changed the talk a little bit, but it doesn't matter. I kind of did it on the fly. But I have no idea. Some of you may have hearing aids. Some of you may be blind. I don't know. So what I should have done is I should have actually done this straight away. And that is I should have put on Microsoft Translator. Now what Microsoft Translator allows me to do on PowerPoint is this. It allows me to put subtitles on my PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put subtitles on my PowerPoint. And I'm going to ask for a favour from someone. So now I've put subtitles on my PowerPoint. At the bottom of my PowerPoint, you'll see that I've now got subtitles. Now subtitles are really useful for everyone. Because actually what it means is that you can read as well as you're writing, and it can give you that information. From a dyslexic point of view, what I can do is I can go into this little button here, and it says here, save transcription, and I can actually take that transcription out and put it into a document so you can go ahead and read it. So that's a really useful way. Can anyone read a foreign language in the room? Can anyone read a foreign language, another language? Can any of you read another language, apart from English? There's got to be someone that can. Someone can. Can someone? Anyone? Because I can't. There's got to be someone in there. Okay, I'll tell you this. So by me taking a picture of that on my phone using Microsoft Translator, so the app is called Microsoft Translator, it would allow me to speak in English on my device here, do my lesson or do my talk or my speech. You would then be able to read it on your phone in your own language, so your native language. So that's called, Microsoft Translator. But also, I don't know how it compares with Google Translator. I'm wearing Microsoft badge, I don't know. I don't know, you can, one day we can test that. Yeah? But what it will also allow you to do is, it can actually do a really clever thing with on a two-way conversation actually on the app. So if you have it on an iPad or on a phone, I'm 90% sure it is on Android, but I'm not sure, I haven't tested that. But you can actually have a two-way conversation with someone. So you can actually say, so I've got it now, it's reading, I'm speaking in English in here and it's now going to work in German. So it's done it now in English, but what it would do is, if I downloaded the voice, it will actually read it out in German as well, or in that language. I think I did it the other week in Swahili or something like that, and it read it out. It's a really clever app. It's a really clever concept.
The Google version is called Claro, that does some of these things, and you can if you've copied French text, you can go into the voices and change it to a French reader, French voice, and it will pronounce it right. If it's otherwise, sometimes we hear that when we go to France or something like that with our GPS, it'll go Rue de la, instead of having the accent and not pronouncing the end of the words and stuff. So it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, it is.
But it's working so much quicker.
Yeah.
It's in almost real time.
Yeah, it is pretty good. I'm going to do this. I apologise for everyone in the room. Yes.
I don't understand when you've got your phone to your laptop, how do you bring it, or how do you...
What, how am I talking to my laptop?
I use the phone device connected with the laptop.
Okay, so they're connected by the internet.
Right.
So your phone's got data, and this is connected to the Wi-Fi. So all I'm using my phone for is to send a signal, like the translation. Just doing it on the device, it uses the internet. So by me scanning that barcode and that web address, it would then do it. So, at the moment I'm talking, I'm using the microphone in the device to pick up my voice. All I'm doing is sending that signal to it. That's how it works. Yeah, does that help? All right? Did I answer the question right?
No, is there an application you're using? What? No, I don't understand how
so
it's
working. So I'm using PowerPoint Translator.
PowerPoint
Translator, which is built into PowerPoint.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is doing my doing the translation. Sorry, not doing the translation. Doing the subtitles, and it would do the translation as well. The app on the phone is called Microsoft Translator, which means it would be in a foreign language. The app they would connect via the internet. Yeah. So if I just say the word shit, I apologise. It started out. I just want to show that it actually stars out swear words. So that's just to show you that. Just going to so the thing about this is that I use a multiple approach. So I don't just use. As a severe dyslexic, I'm using more and more of these Microsoft products. I work for Claro, so I've used Claro apps before. Claro Scan Pen is really good. Claro Scan Pen does very similar to what Seeing AI does. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit better. You just pay £9. So that's a really useful concept to have on there. I quite like this. This is really good.
Well, it's just all the things I've picked up.
No, I like it. I know
it into a booklet.
Yeah, that's a really good thing. So what I want to just finish with, I want to finish with two things. So where's my slide? This is the final thing. So this is Myra. Mara. Joey from West Wing. Simple as. That's all I know. So Joey is deaf. This actress is deaf. And she says there we should never ask for access should just be given. And that is so true. I use, as a dyslexic, I don't just use the Microsoft stuff I showed you. I would use Claro Read or Claro Speak on Google, or I would use Claro Read on my computer. I would use Dragon if I was dictating a lot of stuff, because that's what works for me. It's all about playing around with it. This is all a starting point. This is all inbuilt. You go away and play with it. And if you need something more, that's when you need to look at something more. Definitely recommend having a play around with stuff. If you've got some questions, you can ask me. I think. Thank you very much, everyone.